Alright, so the new Bronco has officially been unveiled, and honestly, I should have made this video like 3 days ago. It's just, I have a life, so making up for lost time today. Okay, so this past, Tuesday, Wednesday, the 2021 Bronco was officially unveiled. And honestly, it's probably one of my favorite modern cars. Based off of looks alone. I'm not a big off-roader, but, I can appreciate a good body. The Jeep Wrangler finally has a worthy opponent. And honestly, I can't wait to see how the two try to outdo each other. This video, it's got no real goal in mind. Mostly it's going to be talking about my thoughts of the new Bronco, as well as like how does it compare to a Jeep. Because my family, if you guys have seen my videos before, we own a 2016 Wrangler, and we really love that car. My mom has actually become a huge Jeep fan, to the point where I told her the Bronco was being unveiled, and her first response was, "Oh, it's probably not as good as the Jeep. It's not going to outdo the Jeep. It's not going to do anything like that. It's not going to do anything like that." Why does my mom sound like Donald Trump? But anyways, without further ado, these are my thoughts about the 2021 Bronco. Alright, so the Bronco is going to be having two different engine types. First one is going to be an inline 4, making 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. The other is a V6, making 310 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. Obviously, I wish there was a V8, but you don't need a V8 to make some good power nowadays. So I completely understand why they went the other route, because a V8, while they make some good power, they're not really good on gas mileage. Now, the V6 is going to make a 0 to 60 time in roughly 5.3 seconds, which actually, for an off-road vehicle that weighs around 4,500 pounds, that's not a bad 0 to 60 time. 5.8 seconds, that's roughly, I think that actually might be slightly faster than my 70 Skylark. But let's be honest, if you guys are actually considering a Bronco for a car, you really don't care that much about 0 to 60 times. They're cool, but, what you're worried about most is the off-road capability. And the off-road capability is just where this stands out. The Ford Bronco is going to be coming with a multitude of terrain modes for any situation. These driving modes will include mud, sand, rally, and even more. Now, what I like most about the Bronco, the new Bronco, is that it felt like it felt like the engineers kind of looked at the recent Wranglers and kind of saw what people were buying the most in the aftermarket and then added them directly on. And I can really appreciate that. A company that really pays attention to the aftermarket, is going to do their customers good. The interior is fully customizable with a multitude of choices for seats, including leather, cloth, and marine grade materials. It also has removable handles, a mount rail, and possibly the strangest, drain plug so you can hose down your interior. Now, as I'm not a big off-roader guy myself, I've never heard of this. Is this a thing that, people like to put in the aftermarket or come stock on some things? Because I've never heard of this before. The closest I've seen of somebody hosing down the interior of their car, those dumb memes that are making fun of people that do that. So, man, I don't even know where I'm going with that. I think it's really weird to include drain plugs, but it also shows that they're really thinking ahead, because they know that the people that are going to want a Bronco are the people that want to have a little fun off-road, that, they're not going to be the kind of person to steer around the puddle. They're going to be the one that's just shoving right through it. And honestly, they should be commended for thinking of that kind of stuff, because that shows that they're listening to the customers. Now, going on further from the customizability, Ford claimed that everything that has a bolt can be taken off. So yeah, those little, they're not hex keys, but star keys. I don't know what those are called. I'm used to hex keys. If you see those anywhere, that means that part can be taken off and customized for however you want. They also took a page out of the aftermarket by studying what people were buying for their Jeeps and including it stock. Now, for the stuff that is typically aftermarket, I mean the lower door windows, the iPhone and GoPro rail at the top, and a multitude of other smaller options. Now, what I like most about the Bronco is, as many guys who watch my channel know, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of classic cars. And I feel like that for once, a company did a really good job of calling back to their roots. The 2021 Bronco looks pretty much exactly what you'd expect a futuristic version of the Bronco to look like. Both looks modern and old at the same time. Plus, this is a little small thing for me, but I haven't seen circular headlights on any modern car in forever. So I'm a sucker for circular headlights just because I kind of like the classic look, that kind of thing. The body was perfectly engineered for off-roading in mind, including lower door windows, aiming points for judging distance, and a beaded tire option stock. And another step up that it has on the Wrangler is that the side mirrors, they aren't attached to the doors, they're attached to the hood, which means when you take the doors off of the car, you can legally drive it on the road, because that was the problem that a lot of Wrangler drivers were having. They'd get tickets for not having side mirrors. What's also interesting is that they included a multitude of different trim levels. Now, this actually sounds like, you know, like a normal thing, but unlike a lot of trim levels where they kind of start with the base model, you get a little more power, a little more performance here, and then more and more performance each time, they don't build off on each other. They're built for completely different situations. With these trim levels, there are many different opportunities to be had, each geared for a different type of driving, so you know that there's a specific type of terrain you'd like to tackle, be it pavement, mud, snow, desert dunes, rocks, and more. You know that if there's a terrain that you want to, you know, handle the most often, that Bronco is going to be best suited for it out of the bunch. And that just shows that Ford is really going ahead and trying to make this special, and I really appreciate that. Usually with trim models, it's usually like worst to best, but it's not that for once. It's, you know, hey, if you want this, you want to go with this one. If you want this, go with that one. These trims all go by different names, including the base model, Big Bend, Black Diamond, Outer Banks, Badlands, Wild Track, and the first edition, all with so many options and trinkets to choose from. Honestly, it'd take me hours to tell you about each and every one. If any of you guys want to learn more specifically about each trim, I'll link it down below. It's just, I don't have time for all this today. Yeah, I'm kind of running on a schedule. I was supposed to do the line lock video today, but I'm having trouble with the car, so yeah. Towing capacity is also pretty good. It's nothing special. It's not a truck, so it's roughly around like 3,500 pounds, kind of exactly like the Wrangler. But you know, even with towing, you gotta remember this car isn't meant to be a hauler. It's meant to be an off-roader, which you can understand even just by staring at its transmission. I mean, the 7-speed manual version comes with a designated crawler gear, for crying out loud. Towing is not the top of their list. Overall, I believe that the new 2021 Bronco is a very sleek and powerful off-roader, and I think will be a really good contender for the years to come, as long as Ford doesn't, you know, mess it up. The biggest thing for a lot of off-roading capable cars is, you know, reliability, and sometimes Ford's track record is a little bit iffy. Sure, I know people make jokes about the found on road dead is the real acronym or whatever, but you know, sometimes these stereotypes have a basis in reality, and you know, it's true. Ford doesn't necessarily have the best track record for that, but I like to remain optimistic about it because it's a really cool looking car. The new 2021 Bronco's base price is roughly $28,000, making it a very good competitor price-wise to the 2021 Wrangler, especially because that 2021 Wrangler is going to be roughly $32,000 base model. Ford came out swinging that Jeep, ready to take back the crown for who's the best off-roader. And when companies compete, the buyer wins. Overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was more of just like a little touch bases. This is more of a quick little info dump about the new Bronco. I hope you guys enjoy. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.